Welcome, everybody, back to the Dragon's Lair. My name is Wade, and this is my show, Only Lore. In the grim dark of the 41st millennium, there is only lore. So, this is part of my playlist of timeline videos. And I really wanted to make these for all of the people who just have never read into the timeline or don't know much about the timeline. I know there's a lot of people out there hungry for lore because of Space Marine 2, and I'm here for you. So, go ahead and look at the other videos in the timeline playlist. There's The War in Heaven and the Age of Progress, and we are going into the Dark Age of Technology is where we are right now. So in the Dark Age of Technology, excuse me, in the Dark Age of Technology, mankind is at the height of their superiority and their supremacy. There is nothing that we can't do, no problem that we haven't solved, no enemy that we can't crush. We have populated the solar system, so that's our solar system, and Earth is out of natural resources. We've mined the Kuiper Belt and the asteroids, and we're expanding rapidly into other reaches of the galaxy, and that's really cool. um, like I said, I cannot stress enough that this is the golden age of human superiority. Our power is godlike. That right there is a thing called a sun snuffer. And just as an example, a sun snuffer is like a bunch of coils, and it was able to wrap itself around a star and absorb all of its energy, snuff it out, and then consume all of the gases and chemicals and plasma and all of that, and then move on. And there was more than one sun snuffer. So if that just gives you like a scope of what we're talking about here, I could go on for a long time about it, but um, this takes place between the 15th and the 25th millennia. So there is about 10 millennia there that we're doing this. And basically, any aliens that we roll up to at this point in time, if they're not peaceful, we stomp them out because we have the power to do that. We are conquering the stars. A big part of this was that we invented artificial intelligence. And eventually, over this 10 millennia, the artificial intelligence becomes kind of baked into everything we do. And it becomes so much a part of our life that we basically can't live without it. And at this point in time, there were some artificial intelligences called STCs. So you might hear that the Abductus Mechanicus is looking for an STC, or that there's a dangerous STC that was found and stuff like that. That's what this is talking about. Some of them contained all of the wealth of human knowledge accumulated to that point. Some of them contained that. Some of them were made to make new artificial intelligences. And a good example of those second generation artificial intelligences are the Men of Iron. And the Men of Iron were made for many different reasons. They were made to help us. They were made to help us conquer. So there are like combat Men of Iron, all sorts of stuff like that. But basically, at this point in human expansion, we start using the warp. And we start making these really far jumps through the Sea of Souls, and we are just expanding everywhere. And at some point, a lot of the records are lost from the Dark Age of Technology, which is why we can't recreate the technology now, but also we won't recreate the technology now because it's abominable and illegal and tech heresy, and I'll tell you why. The reason why it is we created these artificial intelligences, and then they created, that right there was a Man of Iron, then they created artificial intelligences, and eventually the Men of Iron rebelled, and this became known as the Cybernetic Revolt, and it basically happened everywhere across the human empire. And we don't know if they planned it like a chess game. We don't know if it was like a Skynet thing. We don't know. There aren't the records. But we do know that we fought the Men of Iron and we survived it. I really want to hesitate to say we won because that makes it sound like we came out victorious and ahead. I think we just survived. And every once in a while in the lore and in the novels, you do hear of a man of iron popping up or being found or whatever. But they're almost all gone now. There are rumors that they're hiding. There's even rumors that they are the Leagues of Votan, but whatever. I think that would be really cool if the ancestors in the Leagues of Votan were men of iron. And there's references to that. But anyways, so we are fighting what became known as the cybernetic revolt. And we are fighting for our lives because now we don't have the technology to do all those things. And all of the horrible atrocities and things that we had to suffer during the dark age of technology is why we now call it the dark age of technology. The people living then did not call it the dark age of technology. We now, in the present of 40K, looking back at it, call it the dark age of technology, which is, we did all these horrible things and then we didn't know what we were doing and they turned on us, and which is now why artificial intelligence is tech heresy. And a lot of the things, all of the technology in 40K, if it's not sanctioned by the Mechanicus and if it's not accepted by the Imperium, it's tech heresy. And that's why you get like the rites of initiation is like hitting the on button until the machine turns on. We are so ignorant now to how machines from then work or worked because of the dark age of technology and all the fear that it created and what we had to do to survive. And I know that may sound silly to some people, but that is what happened. We are so far divorced from, I use the mouse and the cursor, and I hit the start menu, and then I find the application. We're so far divorced from that because of the repercussions of the cybernetic revolt and what happened with the Men of Iron. That's part of the reason, at least. Also around this time, so we survive the cybernetic revolt. While we're fighting the cybernetic revolt, psychers start to be born in much higher concentrations that had never been seen before in all of human history. And it's leading up to something that we will get to in the next video. But no one at the time understands why. And these psychers, no one knows how to use their powers. There's no support system to counsel these people and to help them hone their powers. And you get a lot of planets that succumb to megalomaniacal maniacs with insane powers just seeking revenge. And then all of those people, not all those people did that, but enough of those people did that, spread far throughout the empire, that possession by demons started to get more and more prevalent, because when you're connected to the powers of the warp, the demons are drawn to you. You're like a light, and they're drawn to your life essence, right? Your psychic essence. So then demons started to possess people more and more, which is where you get people opening up demonic portals. And then through those demonic portals start incursions. So we had this high age of technology, and then a cybernetic revolt, and then all of a sudden demons. Possession, demons, psychic powers. And that's sort of the 1-2 punch that puts humanity in a really bad spot. So we've got a lot of colonies set up all over the place, and then they get trashed because of the cybernetic revolt. And then they get trashed again because of demon incursions and possessions and all of that stuff. So humanity is in a real bad spot. That sets us up for the next age that we're about to start, which is known as the Age of Strife, or the Old Night, which is one of the most famous eras, probably the second most famous era in all of Warhammer 40K, second only to the Horus Heresy. But so Old Night is setting in, and things are bad. Things are bad everywhere. Psychers, demons, Men of Iron this is where the Empire starts to crumble. I really enjoy sharing these videos with you guys. I use some of my favorite lore smiths as sources, and I really hope someday that Luton or Westhammer sees my stuff, because I'm inspired by you guys. I want to spread the lore because of Space Marine 2 and all the people that are interested. So we here at the Dragon's Lair understand that you could get your lore anywhere. We want to say thank you for getting your lore here with us at the Dragon's Lair.